let us execute an immediate, sweeping analytical vector shift away from the sunny, toxic, competitive athletic dynasties of suburban Sydney, family disappearances, and country club politics, and plunge straight into the frozen, calculation-heavy tracking matrices of deep-state military police operations, weaponized small-town law enforcement networks, and the fiercely protective world of an elite drifter asset returning to investigate a personal family tragedy. We are crossing the threshold directly into the hyper-monitored local sectors of a remote, snow-covered Colorado mountain enclave, the exclusive procedural grid of an active murder conspiracy cover-up, and the lethal analytical parameters of an intense, survival-based tactical investigation matrix with Drift, the exceptional pulse-pounding structural deployment marking the explosive first book in the globally dominant, chart-topping Rachel Hatch mystery thriller series by the absolute undisputed sovereigns of high-velocity tactical suspense, sharp institutional profiling, and rogue operational statecraft, L.T. Ryan and Brian Shea. This introductory tracking sequence delivers an exceptional look at an operational crossroads where a fierce, underestimated female protagonist asset running an unyielding field loop, a deeply corrupt municipal machine, and an absolute defense of a sister's final personal sovereignty metrics collide at terminal velocity. Let us map the strategic narrative grid. If you are an elite enthusiast of high-octane, slow-burn crime thrillers, where an endangered, hyper-observant female protagonist must navigate an absolute maze of rigged forensic reports, backwoods administrative execution orders, and a deadly ring of active institutional gaslighting while running a blind survival loop inside a completely compromised county ecosystem, where an analytical mind uses deep behavioral profiling, calculated hand-to-hand combat boundaries, and absolute mental stamina to outmaneuver an invisible predatory fixer network, and where the authors utilize an incandescent former Army MP returns home to uncover the truth behind her twin sister's suspicious drowning diagnostic routine to test our hero's structural limits, this book is engineered to lock you in. Ryan and Shea completely dominate the high-precision military instincts meet small-town hostility dynamic, capturing the heart-racing intellectual momentum, suffocating regional paranoia, and heavy deductive depth popularized by genre vargs like Lee Child, C.J. Box, David Baldacci, and Robert Dugoni, while treating realistic criminal investigation logistics, complex personal alignment arcs, and protective high-density combat extraction grids with absolute technical mastery. The narrative tracking grid zeroes in on the highly volatile, calculation-heavy baseline of our central elite operative, Rachel Hatch, operating under a severe, calculation-heavy handicap of an unanchored lifestyle, deep-seated family historical vulnerabilities, and a hyper-visible targeting profile by the county's ruling administrative capos. Behind Rachel's rigorous field footprints and tense investigation ledger logs lies an intricate matrix of hidden faction allegiances, deeply buried municipal secrets, and sharp, high-stakes tactical maneuvers. Rachel's collective defense mechanisms are locked down tight behind a lifetime of leading elite military police deployments and undercover operations, her entire analytical focus strictly consumed by monitoring sudden threat vectors from local cartels, parsing complex behavioral shifts from her powerful, cold-eyed local sheriff allies, and shielding her vulnerable sanctuary nodes from being entirely wiped out by a ruthless elite cleanup offensive. The spark ignites when an unexpected high-frequency structural anomaly breaches her active scanning perimeter. Her twin sister's death is ruled an accident, but the physical forensic markers instantly cross-reference with high-level calculated malice designed to guarantee a state-sponsored archival suppression. As the hostile local syndicate's mobilization phases enter an increasingly lethal terminal tier, a series of suspicious evidence sabotage attempts, targeted witness intimidation setups, and calculation-heavy midnight road ambushes threaten to permanently eliminate Rachel from the active living civilian registry. The official diagnostic metrics of the global tracking centers flash white-hot when her defensive investigative maneuvers and raw physical combat output reveal that her initial operational alignment is radically, impossibly altering the Valley's historical balance of power.
The standard boundaries of routine municipal jurisdiction and peaceful mountain compliance protocols crumble, and our central protagonist runs completely out of standard diplomatic escape vectors. She is thrust directly into an active, invisible war across the winter backcountry, where deceptive corporate defense houses, highly manipulative town elders, and a calculation-heavy law enforcement syndicate launch aggressive countermeasures to permanently suppress her survival data stream. The tactical parameters instantly explode as their historical and survival warfare turns completely active, transforming the local county offices, dark mountain ridge sniper perimeters, and private fortified cabin safe houses into a volatile psychological pressure cooker and a physical battle zone. Our protective veteran protagonist is forced to deploy her massive intuitive tradecraft, elite military environmental mapping skills, and raw physical combat stamina to repair her perimeter and secure true institutional advancement before the next systemic judicial realignment permanently deletes her case file. When deceptive regional red herrings, corrupted financial ledgers, and calculation-heavy tactical ambushes launch aggressive plays to delete her path, her survival instincts engage their final deployment tracks. Every midnight archival excavation, every silent choice to stand off against a dirty deputy commander behind standard security barriers, and every intense moment of channeling raw, unyielding survival mechanics chips away at her reliance on original peaceful rules. What follows is an exceptional high-stakes war of perspective, tactical position, and raw human grit. We watch the local elite's deceptive perimeters completely unwrapped as the authors reveal that the true victory requires more than just surviving an initial setup or managing a hostile town interrogation. It demands an absolute, uncompromising defense of individual dignity, personal truth, and systemic survival against a cold, calculating machine of institutional hierarchy and small-town supremacy. While our central characters smooth over each other's psychological and defensive blind spots with devastating analytical force, creating a fiercely protective, absolute web of dark possessive loyalty around their union, a brutal series of close-quarters tactical confrontations and high-stakes evidentiary breakthroughs shifts the clock into its terminal phase, proving that historical emotional hazards have tracked them to their final outpost. To survive the impending locked grid trap and permanently secure her sanctuary, our resilient heroine must unleash an absolute, unyielding defense of her final boundary lines. It is a military procedural thriller, rogue justice suspense, small-town espionage drama, and high-velocity criminal investigation noir masterpiece that treats deep relational logistics and intense structural friction with elite precision. The tension here burns with a sharp, calculation-heavy intensity. We are talking about that high-frequency, one-whispered threat triggers a fatal barroom showdown energy, where a sudden pause during an active franchise tactical briefing, an unexpected shift in an adversary's protective physical posture during a high-stakes standoff confrontation, or a heavy, possessive realization that an elite intelligence operative has completely mapped your personal coordinates carries massive structural weight. Brian and Shea write with an exceptionally fresh, vivid, and beautifully blunt voice, perfectly capturing the heavy, oppressive atmosphere of a private executive vault before a major corporate takeover, and the distinct, subtle scent of polished mahogany, expensive gunpowder residue, pine needles, wood smoke, ice-cold mountain air, spilled copper, and pure, unadulterated suspense. What truly elevates this series debut into elite territory is the author's unmatched ability to balance complex, high-stakes community dynamics and genuine protective tradecraft alongside a breathtaking narrative pace and deep emotional hooks. Our protagonists don't rely on unbelievable superficial Hollywood superhero action tropes. Their immense situational intelligence, strategic patience, and profound survival instincts match the complexity of the chaotic modern corporate and high society underworld they dominate step for step, making their choices to risk everything feel profoundly authentic and deeply gripping. The pacing moves with calculated momentum, tracking intense conversational standoffs and breathtaking tactical breakthroughs before ratcheting up to an absolute jaw-dropping conclusion that delivers total hard-earned advancement to their horizon. Drift is the definitive pro-level upgrade your high-stakes action fiction and intense asset suspense library demands right now. It is elegant, immensely fast-paced, and utterly unputdownable. It proves that when your entire sanctuary is targeted by a cold, calculating institutional monster, the most revolutionary play you can execute is to lock your perimeters, trust your elite survival training, and fight like hell alongside your network to rewrite the data. So secure your personal reading sanctuary, review your emotional defensive perimeters, open your Kindle, and prepare to track the fleet.